Welcome in to Duval Daily presented by GenJag.com. I'm Jordan DeLugo. Thanks for tuning in. Today we're diving deep into off-ball linebacker Foye Oluokun and what he brings to the table for your Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars signed the 26-year-old linebacker who led the league in tackles in 2021 with 192 tackles. Signed him to a 3-year contract worth $45 million total, $28 million guaranteed at signing. Will he be a difference maker for the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2022? They've been so desperate for difference makers on both sides of the ball over the last several years. Will Foye Oluokun be that for the Jaguars? We will tackle that question today. If you're a fan of the show, please like and subscribe on YouTube. You can follow myself at Jordan DeLugo on Twitter, Generation Jaguar at Generation Jag. Looking at his background a little bit here, Oluokun grew up playing soccer and basketball, and when he did finally play football in high school, he was a running back and a defensive back until he put on weight in college and became a linebacker. Grew up kind of focusing on sports, certainly, but school was the priority, right? His scholarly studies was where his family wanted him to focus. That's where he was going to be able to better his life. According to his family values, he kind of grew up in a family that really pushed him to be the best he could be, and I think that reflects in who he is today. Ended up getting offers from all the Ivy League schools, chose Yale, and the Falcons picked him in the 6th round of the 2018 NFL draft out of Yale, picked 200 overall. Been in the league for 4 years now. He's 6'2", 215 pounds. Ran a 4.48 40 at his pro day, which 4.48 40 for a linebacker, that's booking it. Again, 215 pounds though is on the smaller side. 37-inch vert, another just incredible number here for a linebacker. Those are wide receiver numbers, right? Primarily played special teams the first 2 years of his career with the Falcons. And then in 2020 and 2021, he became a full-time starter. And he was one of the most productive linebackers in the game, like bar none. In his 2 seasons as a starter for the Falcons, over 300 tackles. Absurd amount of tackles. 95 stops, which is a PFF stat that indicates a positive play for the defense, a tackle that is made that is a positive play for the defense. So you're not giving up a first down. You're not giving up big chunks of yardage when you make those tackles. The stops statistic helps you kind of gauge how many of these tackles are actually making an impact, a positive impact for my team. And 95 stops over the last 2 years, again, that's 47 a year on average here. And that's significantly more than you've seen any other Jaguars player making over the last few years. 5 sacks as well, so he can get in as a blitzer, make plays against the quarterback. 5 forced fumbles over the last 2 seasons. 5 interceptions, 11 passes defended. This is a guy who racks up a lot of statistics in a lot of different ways. Again, tackling all over the field, also tackling around the line of scrimmage with those 95 stops. 5 sacks, he's pressuring the quarterback, blitzing the quarterback. And now he's not like Devin Lloyd where he's going to rush off the edge, or he hasn't shown that to this point in his career. But as a blitzer, he can get the job done. Again, 5 forced fumbles, consistently looking to punch the ball out. 5 interceptions. He's able to capitalize on some opportunistic situations, and the 11 passes defended as well. He's just making plays all over. This is a guy who does not miss many tackles, a very, very efficient football player in that regard. When he gets to the ball, he's usually bringing that ball carrier down, no problem. I think his missed tackle rate was around 8%, which is pretty damn good. Again, speed for days. He's very intelligent, and it's not just intelligence off the field, got into all the Ivy League schools, but he's intelligent on the field, and he's growing still in his ability to diagnose quickly, react quickly, and make plays as a guy who did not play linebacker all has not played linebacker all that long. He's very vocal on defense. He's a guy that is he's been a green dot player in the past, a guy that communicates the plays to the rest of the defense. In Jacksonville, he and Devin Lloyd will be competing for that role throughout training camp. Jaguars rookie linebacker Devin Lloyd picked number 27 overall, and I think both of them have a good shot at that. It'll just be who's more comfortable, who gets the defense lined up better. He's very opportunistic. He capitalizes on quarterbacks' mistakes. And like I said, he consistently punches the ball out or attempts to punch the ball out. He's a smaller linebacker, as I mentioned before, only 215 pounds. And at times, he does show the ability to slip blocks quickly. But he's not immune to getting eaten up by bigger offensive linemen, even fullbacks, tight ends, and other blockers in space and at the point of attack. They do sometimes get on him, and he has a tough time getting away from those bigger football players. In coverage, you see good instincts. Occasionally, the drops are just a hair late, and if he had gotten into his drop a little bit quicker, you would be looking at a pass breakup or a contested catch or even an interception where just because he's a hair late, it ends up being a pretty easy completion. But overall, really impressed with his tape. Certainly an upgrade here, right? The Jaguars are paying him $15 million a year. So will he be a big difference maker for the Jaguars in 2022 and beyond? I think when you look at the Jaguars moving on from their two starters at linebacker in 2021, Miles Jack, Damian Wilson, you've got Mike Caldwell here, a former NFL linebacker, a longtime linebacker coach in the NFL taking over the Jaguars defense. And you've got also Devin Lloyd playing next to Foye Oluokun. Up front, I think you've got Foley Fatukasi, Malcolm Brown, Roy Robertson Harris and company, along with Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker playing the edges. I think there will be a lot more consistency around Foye Oluokun in Jacksonville than there was on the Atlanta defense last year, which, while they had some stars and Grady Jarrett and A.J. Terrell, the consistency wasn't exactly there when you look at the entire 11 men on the field. The reality of the situation here, though, in Jacksonville is he's getting paid like one of the top 5 off-ball linebackers in the game today, and I just don't think he is that. And when you have Devin Lloyd, again, who was brought in with the 27th overall pick, Chad Muma, another linebacker, brought in with the 70th overall pick, they're both coming in as high draft pick rookies, and they have a lot of talent, and they're cost-controlled over the next 4 years. All this to say, I'd be surprised to see Foye Oluokun make it past the year 2 out that's in his contract, which is after that 2023 season. Not because he's not playing well, not because he won't play well, but because the Jaguars can get cheaper, potentially better with Lloyd and Muma on the field, and they can allocate those financial resources that they're currently giving to Oluokun to younger up-and-coming guys like potentially Tyson Campbell, Andre Sisco, maybe Walker Little. But to answer the question, will he make a difference for these Jaguars? Yes, I expect Foye Oluokun to make a big difference for the Jaguars defense in his ability to run and hit, tackle consistently, make plays at or close to the line of scrimmage, and again, be opportunistic in coverage. When quarterbacks make mistakes, he capitalizes on them. When ball carriers are loose with the football, he capitalizes on that. He'll make game-changing plays in coverage and pursuit. Over the last 2 years, with him being a full-time starter, he's made game-changing plays in about 1 in every 3 games. That's a lot more than anybody you have seen in Jacksonville over the last several years. He won't be perfect, but he shouldn't have to be in a Mike Caldwell defense, which is designed to get the linebackers producing at a high level. And when you look at how inconsistent the Jaguars linebackers were in 2021, Oluokun and his running mate Devin Lloyd, they're going to be just major upgrades. Even if they're not top of the league in 2022, they're going to be just far and away a lot better, in my opinion, thanks to the scheme, thanks to what's going on up front, thanks to their talent, and thanks to Mike Caldwell developing them. I think they're going to be significantly better than what you saw from Miles Jack and Damian Wilson. So yeah, I think Foye Oluokun, is going to come in and represent a big upgrade, even over Miles Jack, who is a well-paid, highly drafted, athletic linebacker. I think the biggest difference you see here is the processing and the reaction speed. Oluokun gets the job done much better than Miles Jack did in that regard, and he still offers the playmaking ability that Miles Jack brought to you. So yeah, I think the Jaguars overpaid him a little bit. You do that in free agency a lot. I don't think it's a deal that hamstrings the Jaguars in any way, because they can get out after those 2 years if they so choose, and it is a 3-year deal in total. So if Oluokun's playing even better than what he showed in Atlanta over the last couple years, maybe you do keep him on that 3rd year, and you just have 3 really good linebackers for the next 3 years on your roster. But that is going to do it. Thanks for tuning in, Duval. Hit me up on Twitter at Jordan DeLugo. Follow Generation Jaguar at Generation Jag. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube. And check genjag.com for all the latest Jaguars news, analysis, and Duval gear.